With the fall season having come to a close, I wanted to use this opportunity to share some of my favorite shows from the past season. We've gotten a lot of great shows, a lot I can talk about, but I wanted to keep it limited to 3 personal recommendations. By the way, by the time this is uploaded, it's most likely going to be New Year's Eve or New Year's for you, depending on your time zone. So I just wanted to wish you all a happy New Year's. I appreciate all the support you all have given to the channel this past year. With that said, let's get into it. Watch the 100 girlfriends that really love you. We have the GAT, the Pika Sundares, text-to-speech son, ChatGPT son, a lolly MILF scientist, and finally, the MILFs. I had to throw it in here because this is the funniest rom-com I've seen since Kaguya-sama. It shines from the rest of the crowd for how its comedy just doesn't feel reserved at all, but rather balls to the walls. It breaks the fourth wall, blending in elements from different genres and especially on how it's not afraid to throw in tons of sexual humor. If you're unaware on what this series is about, to give you a brief rundown, our protagonist Rentaro is on a mission to get all the bitches in the land, or specifically as mentioned in the title, 100 of them. All of these girls are destined to be his soulmate, and it's not just any random NPC girl that gets chosen. Although at this point it kinda does feel like that. Certain girls he encounters who give off that main character aura will be the chosen ones. It's really funny how he doesn't have to do anything to get them to fall in love with him. Literally just one-eyed eye contact will initiate the spark to their relationship. Goes to show the almighty riz he has. As far as the end of season 1, we're probably about 6% of the way through. To name a few characters, there's Hakari, who's the horniest of the entire group, but also best girl. Karane, who's the most tsundere of tsunderes I've ever seen. Shizuka, aka text-to-speech son, funniest character so far. I love her stupid dialogues. You can never guess what random line she's gonna come up with. And finally, Riz Lord Rentaro. I have not seen anyone in anime who's on the god levels of Riz this man has obtained. He's a Chad, he protects, he's loyal and wise, and is ride or die for each and every single girlfriend. Other series that try to throw in the elements that this show has most of the time end up failing the landing. Either that or they try to shoehorn in some dumb drama. And on the topic of drama, I love how they introduce Hakari's mom, Hahari, as an antagonizing force to Rentaro's harem, as she tries to use her wealth influence to forcefully split apart Rentaro and Hakari, which initiates a stealth mission of the gang infiltrating her mansion, and not long after they get caught, Hahari gets a good look at Rentaro's face and falls head over heels for our boy. Yet she still tries to get Rentaro to give up on the relationship. But you know, Riz Lord Rentaro saves Hakari and uses that Pac no Jutsu on Hahari to make her be the first MILF in the harem. If that doesn't convince you to watch it for the rizziest MC of all time, I don't know what will. So if you're looking for a new rom-com to watch, 100 Girlfriends has you covered, having a bit of every genre in it. It's been the funniest anime of this year and I can't wait for the day season 2 releases. Aside from 100 Girlfriends, this is the second most funniest anime this season. Shit, I might as well call this video the best comedy anime of fall 2033, with all the comedy I'm talking about. Basically, the show is about this kingdom called Mole Knight where they have this warlord system established. Our vampire lolly protagonist Komari suddenly gets chosen to be one of them, so she has to prove her might by challenging multiple other nations to wars and getting all those victory royales. Otherwise, her position as a warlord gets revoked and she'll be executed. But you know the saying that people don't die in anime, right? Well, this show takes that concept very literally, as there's a thing called a dark core each kingdom has, which if you're within range of it, you get revived automatically. I mean, at that point you might as well just obtain an immortality spell for the entire kingdom. Getting on to the antagonist, there's a terrorist group called Inverse Moon whose ultimate goal, besides bringing down the Mole Knight Empire, is bringing back the concept of death by destroying all the dark cores. Which honestly I kinda agree with this. It's ridiculously broken if you just keep bullshitting your way out of death. Especially for characters that kinda deserve to stay in the Shadow Realm. The action scenes in the show are peak, but what makes that element most interesting is that our main girl Komari has this berserk side to her, where she just absolutely pops off and goes ballistic on the enemy. It kinda reminded me of Mob Psycho at first, even though the concepts of their berserk forms are entirely different, as I think Mob was more aware of when he reaches that breaking point, while Komari isn't. You just give her a drop of blood and it's like another entity coming out. But I don't know, Mob Psycho is the only example I could come up with off the top of my head. Okay, that's enough spoilers. Besides the action and comedy, another selling point, which more so just adds on to the comedy, for you Yuri fans out there, this shows a lot of Yuri Bay moments between Komari and other girls, which most of the time is pretty funny, so if you're into that, there's another reason right there for you to watch this. Overall, this show has good comedy, Yuri bait, hot maids, and an interesting female lead, and some great action scenes every now and then. Animation isn't so bad either, definitely a lot better than other seasonals from the past season. Now, if you've been keeping up with some seasonals from the season, you're bound to have come across Shangri-La Frontier. And you probably already know a thing or two about what's up with it, but I had to throw this one in because it was just too good to gloss over. There's so many amazing elements to this show when it comes to the characters, the plot, the world building, and how it literally feels like an isekai rather than just some VR game. Everything is so vast and unique. The NPCs feel alive and not like just blatant coded pixels. Now, for those who happen to be unaware of what the series is about, our MC Sunraku Sashizutome is a geek for trash games, aka games that are just poorly made and have a lot of bugs. Bugs ridiculous enough that players found out how to make their own skill sets using those bugs. Now, when he goes to his local game shop to find a new game to beat, the store manager introduces his quote-unquote god tier game, Shangri-La Frontier, for him to try out something different for once. This game has everything an RPG can possibly offer: towns, quests, other players, and good combat mechanics, unique bosses that are equivalent to a Dark Souls boss, which appear as rare spawns when you unlock this feature called a unique scenario. But the twist here is our boy Sunraku unlocks this unique scenario by finding one of these bosses and discovers something very rare that possibly no other player has encountered before: a hidden country and a talking bunny companion, who can also turn into a waifu. On the outside, this game looks fairly straightforward, just more fun than other RPGs out there. Yet there's so many compelling mysteries that are yet to be discovered. Aside from Sunraku, I have to say my favorite characters are Emo, the talking bunny, and Arthur Pentagon. I like how her name is kinda a play on Arthur Pentagon. Anyways, Pentagon is a fun character. I love her personality. She's a rootless player killer for fun, and she may come off as an asshole, but she can also have a sense of sympathy for an NPC's story. Also, I think so far she has the best character design, although nothing beats Sunraku's Birdhead. Anyways, if you're into gaming, I think the series would definitely be right up your alley. It's a very fun watch and it keeps you invested through and through. Plus, it has some great dubstep OSTs. Not often do I hear that in anime. But even if you're not big on gaming animes, I'd still say give this one a shot, cause who knows, it might be worth your time. Also, let's be honest, Girlfriend Season 2 is the true anime of the season.